Hello and welcome to Nottingham District Gun Club. During the COVID-19 pandemic, we're aiming to bring you lots of video clips of profiles on shooters, cleaning tips, instructional videos, and just things to keep you occupied and keep you interested in the sport that we all love. Today we're doing a profile on the man, the myth, the legend, Dave Hinchliffe. Dave is a huge part of the team and the family at Nottingham District Gun Club. He is a qualified coach and also one of our lead instructors. And anyone that visits the ground will see Dave on a regular basis, walking around, talking to shooters, just giving hints, tips and advice on how to improve their shooting abilities. Dave has been a big part of the shooting world for a long time and is highly respected amongst the other shooters in down the line, but in lots of other disciplines as well. Dave's had many accolades in shooting of lots of different disciplines, including county titles, regional titles, and also taking part in world championship teams around the world. Dave primarily majors in down the line shooting a Krieghoff, and his preferred cartridges are the Hull Pro 1 DTL 300, which he uses very proficiently. Over the decades, Dave has achieved a high level in many things, but that's because of the pure skill, dedication, hard work, the time that he puts into any preferred thing that he's undertaking at the time. As you watch Dave on the stand, he has a set routine. He does exactly the same thing every time, following that skill, that expertise, that training that he's put in over many years. You don't get to the level that Dave's achieved by just putting a few cartridges through the gun. It's many thousands. Repetition is the key. As you can see, after every shot, Dave lifts the gun slightly, blows through the barrels. As he changes from stand to stand, he always just checks that his chokes are tight. It's all just part of his technique, all part of his structure. You see how he adjusts his feet, sets everything to the same position. As Dave then throws his eyes out over the ground, just adjusts his eyes, sets his eyes to the background and the light conditions. You see how he places the gun into his shoulder, lifts forward, slightly raising that back foot just to get that front elevation momentum. You can see that the same routine is carried out every single time, which gives him the results that he achieves. Dave once told me a little story that when he was in the early days and he was achieving very high levels and high scores, he'd had one day where he shot a particularly bad score. Knowing Dave, that was probably in the late 280s or early 290s. And he went home and he was quite annoyed with himself. And his lovely wife told him that this is what he does for a hobby. This is his sport, this is his passion. And as soon as it was making him miserable, if that was the way it was going to be, there was no point carrying on doing it. Dave realised at that point that the only way to achieve what he wanted to achieve in the sport was to enjoy it. It's no good beating yourself up if you've had a bad day. You've got to take the good days and forget the bad days. Try and achieve and learn from them, but don't carry it with you. The more you try, the worse it gets, the harder it gets. You've got to be relaxed, you've got to be in a certain state and frame of mind. I can remember talking to a gentleman many years ago, and he shot a 99 297. I asked him what had happened and why he'd missed one extra target, and he told me that he was watering his tomatoes in the greenhouse. I looked at him totally confused, and then he explained that when he came out that morning, he'd not done the watering, and he realised and remembered he'd got to do it when he got home. It just broke his attention, broke his focus for that couple of split seconds and cost him a target. He did laugh about it, which I'm not sure I would have done. But the point is, if you watch Dave's technique, he's constantly, totally focused on what he's doing, following the same routine on every single shot, setting the gun to the same position, blowing through the barrels, and as he moves across, you'll see how he repositions his feet. There you go, checks his chokes as he changes across. Everything's done, precision. The only thing that's in Dave's mind at this very moment in time is preparing for the next shot. Now you see how he's just had a little slip, dropped the cartridge, so he'll just recompose himself. See how he throws his eyes out, just takes a minute, and then he's back into that same routine. He just refocused everything before he carried on. Anything that distracts you, just take a few seconds, Give yourself time to recuperate from it. Don't let it be what's in your mind. And you'll see again, straight in the centre of the pattern, just following that same process every time. It's an absolute pleasure to watch Dave shoot. You can see the precision, you can see the accuracy, but you can see the concentration. The only thing that's happening to Dave at the moment is the next clay in front. So I'd like to thank you all for taking the time to watch this video. I'd like to thank Dave for allowing me to record it, and I hope you'll all be looking forward to future videos that are going to be coming soon. From all the team here at Nottingham District Gun Club, stay safe, don't hurt each other.